What if I told you that many of the places we know today were once called something else? Not by their people, but by their rulers. From colonial imposition to cultural revival, the renaming of cities, states, and countries is not cosmetic. It's political, emotional, and deeply historical. Cities that threw off colonial labels. Mumbai, formerly Bombay. Name changed in 1995. Reason: linguistic and cultural revival, reaffirming indigenous heritage. The city was long known internationally as Bombay, a name introduced during Portuguese rule in the 16th century and later reinforced under British colonial administration. The word Bombay is believed to have evolved from the Portuguese term Bom Bahia, good bay, though this interpretation does not reflect the city's original cultural or linguistic roots. In 1995, the city was officially renamed Mumbai to reflect its pre-colonial identity and honor Mumba Devi, the local guardian goddess worshipped by the indigenous Koli fishing community, one of the earliest inhabitants of the region. The name Mumbai is derived from Mumba, the goddess, and Ai, meaning mother in Marathi, deeply anchoring the city's identity in the local language and tradition. The change was also part of a broader movement to restore native place names across India, emphasizing Marathi linguistic heritage and correcting names shaped by centuries of foreign rule. While Bombay continues to appear in historical references in some institutions, Mumbai is now firmly established as the city's official and cultural identity. The renaming of Mumbai symbolized more than a linguistic shift. It marked the city's return to its roots, reclaiming a name spoken by its people long before colonial rule. Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon. Name changed in 1976. Reason: political independence, national reunification, and ideological symbolism. For much of its modern history, the city was known as Saigon, a name closely associated with French colonial rule and later with the US-backed South Vietnamese government during the Vietnam War. Over time, Saigon became symbolic of foreign intervention, division, and conflict in Vietnam's struggle for sovereignty. Following the end of the Vietnam War in 1975 and the reunification of North and South Vietnam, the newly unified socialist state officially renamed the city Ho Chi Minh City in 1976. The new name honored Ho Chi Minh, the revolutionary leader and founding father of modern Vietnam, who played a central role in the country's fight against French colonialism and for national independence. The renaming served as a powerful political statement. It marked the end of colonial and wartime divisions. It celebrated revolutionary victory and unity. It embedded national ideology into the country's urban geography. While Saigon remains commonly used in informal contexts and historical references, especially for the city's central districts, Ho Chi Minh City stands as the official name, representing Vietnam's independence, resilience, and reunified national identity. The city's new name transformed a former symbol of division into a lasting reminder of revolution, unity, and self-determination. Istanbul, formerly Constantinople. Name changed officially in 1930. Reason: national identity consolidation and assertion of modern Turkish sovereignty. For more than 1,000 years, the city was known as Constantinople, named after Constantine the Great, the Roman emperor who made it the capital of the Byzantine, Eastern Roman Empire. The name became deeply associated with Byzantine Christian rule and was widely used across Europe, even after the city was conquered by the Ottoman Turks in 1453. Following the Ottoman conquest, local Turkish speakers commonly use the name Istanbul, derived from a Greek phrase meaning "to the city," Istan Polin. Despite this long-standing local usage, many European nations continued to use Constantinople, reflecting historical prestige and Eurocentric tradition rather than the city's contemporary political reality. In 1930, under the reforms of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, the Republic of Turkey formally standardized Istanbul as the city's official international name. This move was part of broader modernization and nation-building efforts that emphasized the Turkish language, identity, and sovereignty. The change: ended the dominance of Byzantine-era naming, asserted control over how the nation presented itself globally, signaled a clear break from. The adoption of Istanbul affirmed that the city's identity belonged to its people and nation, not to the empires that once ruled it. Beijing, formerly Peking. Name standardized in mid-20th century, international usage. Reason, linguistic accuracy and modernization of transliteration. For centuries, the Chinese capital was known in the West as Peking, a name that emerged from older European transliteration systems used by missionaries, traders, and diplomats. These systems attempted to approximate Chinese sounds using Latin letters, but often failed to capture accurate Mandarin pronunciation. In Mandarin Chinese, the city's name is Beijing, meaning northern capital. Bei equals north, Jing equals capital. The pronunciation closely matches the way the name has been spoken by locals for generations. However, Peking reflected earlier pronunciations and non-standardized romanization methods rather than the modern spoken language. During the mid-20th century, especially after the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949, China promoted the pinyin romanization system to create a consistent, scientific, and internationally understandable way to represent Mandarin sounds. As a result, Beijing gradually replaced Peking in global usage. The shift: improved linguistic accuracy, reduced Western distortion of Chinese place names, reflected China's growing role in defining its own global identity. Although Peking survives in historical terms and names like Peking duck, Beijing is now the universally accepted official name. This change was not about politics alone. It was about letting a city be called the way its people have always spoken its name. States and regions rewriting their history. KwaZulu-Natal, formerly Natal, name change context. Post-apartheid era, 1994. Reason: indigenous recognition and restoration of African heritage. The region was historically known as Natal, a name given by Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama in 1497, who encountered the coast on Christmas Day, Natal meaning birth in Portuguese. While the name became firmly established during European colonial rule, it had no connection to the indigenous African communities who had lived there for centuries. The modern name KwaZulu-Natal reflects a deliberate effort to restore indigenous identity following the end of apartheid in South Africa. The term KwaZulu comes from the Zulu language and means place of the Zulu, or land of the Zulu people. It recognizes the historical homeland of the Zulu nation, one of Africa's most influential pre-colonial societies. By combining KwaZulu with Natal, the new name also symbolized political reconciliation, acknowledging both indigenous African heritage and the region's complex colonial history. This approach helped integrate the former Zulu homeland of KwaZulu with the colonial province of Natal into a single, unified administrative region. The renaming restored African cultural visibility, corrected colonial erasure of indigenous identities. South Africa's broader project of nation-building and historical justice, KwaZulu-Natal stands as a reminder that names can heal history by recognizing the people who were there long before colonial maps were drawn. Tamil Nadu, formerly Madras State. Name changed in 1969. Reason: assertion of linguistic identity and cultural self-definition. After India's independence, the region was known as Madras State, a name inherited from British colonial administration. Madras itself originated from colonial-era settlements and did not fully represent the deep cultural and linguistic unity of the region's people, who share one of the world's oldest living classical languages, Tamil. In the decades following independence, strong movements emerged demanding that Indian states be reorganized on linguistic and cultural lines rather than colonial boundaries. Responding to these aspirations, the state was officially renamed Tamil Nadu in 1969. The name literally means land of the Tamils. Tamil equals the language and people, Nadu equals land or country. This change emphasized pride in Tamil language and literature, with roots stretching back over 2,000 years. Cultural continuity distinct from colonial-era labels. Political recognition of language as a core element of identity. The renaming was not merely administrative. It reinforced the idea that regional identity in independent India should reflect indigenous culture rather than imperial geography. By adopting the name Tamil Nadu, the state affirmed that its identity was defined by its people, language, and heritage, not by colonial paperwork. Ghana, formerly Gold Coast. Name changed in 1957. Reason: historical pride and rejection of colonial exploitation narratives. Under British colonial rule, the region was known as the Gold Coast, a name that reflected European economic interests rather than the identity of its people. The term focused narrowly on the area's abundant gold resources, reducing the land to a commodity-based colony and ignoring its rich pre-colonial history, cultures, and kingdoms. When the country became the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence in 1957, its leaders deliberately chose a new name, Ghana, to mark a decisive break from colonial definitions. The name was inspired by the ancient Ghana Empire, a powerful West African civilization that flourished between the 6th and 13th centuries and was renowned for its wealth, governance, and trans-Saharan trade networks. Although the ancient empire was located further northwest than modern Ghana, the name was chosen for its symbolic value. It linked the new nation to a legacy of African statehood and achievement, countering the colonial narrative that African history began with European contact. The renaming shifted identity from resource extraction to historical dignity, celebrated Africa's pre-colonial civilizations, strengthened national pride during the independence era. By adopting the name Ghana, the country reclaimed a past defined by power and civilization, not by what colonial powers took from its soil. Every renamed city or country tells a story of resistance, pride, and rebirth. The map of the world isn't just geography, it's a timeline of human dignity.